Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications.
Now, the core value and the core belief of the Christian church, right? There's a lot of beliefs, but if you were to whittle away all the beliefs, what's at the core of what the Christian churches are putting out? Of course, it's Jesus is the only true Son of God. That is the core belief of what they believe. Now, I don't have a quarrel with that. I don't agree with that, but I don't, they might have a quarrel with me not believing in what they believe, but, that's for them, right? Now, the reason why I want to talk about this today is when it comes to the belief of the church, right? You have the teacher, in this case is Jesus. He gives his teachings to the people at the time. It's then disseminated to other people, and then they have to make heads or tails on what the teacher originally said. In this case, it wasn't even written down for 200 years until after Jesus' death. So Jesus lived a little over 2,000 years ago. The information itself was not even written down until a couple hundred years after he passed away, to where the point we're at today. So it's naive to think that information is 100% accurate. And it's even if it was 100% accurate, it's naive to think that the people of the church today can accurately interpret what it's saying 100% every time. That's whether, and it just goes to show you there's so many different factions of the Christian church and denominations of the Christian church and factions within those factions and so forth, and rituals and all that kind of stuff. That is it really I know the essence of it's there, but is it 100% pure? Well, I don't think it is, because people are having to make heads or tails of what the teaching is based on what was written down after he had even said it. And I think that if people even looked at and really read what Jesus said, I don't think Jesus ever said that he was the only true Son of God. That was written down after by somebody else. And so if you look at the quotes in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right, there was talks more about the historical aspects of Jesus, right? Well, he didn't say those kind of things to the people. But then if you go read the writings of Paul, that's where that stuff starts kind of coming in. And yet it's still put in red like Jesus said it, because Paul wrote it. But yet, in essence, did he, is it a historical, part of the historical timeline? I don't think it really is. And I think even Jesus said, to kind of confirm what I think his belief was about, or his thoughts were about belief itself, right? Or about him being the only true Son of God, is in a parable. It was very simple. But a master has two servants, right? He asks both servants to do something. The first servant says yes and doesn't do it. And then the second one says no and then thinks better about it and does it anyway. And he even asked that question at the time. Which one did the master's will? The first one or the second one? Well, of course, it was the second one. So there are, of course, those people who believe in what Jesus, that Jesus is the only true Son of God, but are they doing Jesus's will, right? Which Jesus said over and over again, love thy neighbor, right? He was asking us to love one another, to serve one another, to feed my sheep and so forth. Are we doing that? Well, no, that's why we have what we have today. Jesus also said, a tree is known by its fruit. So it's like, if the church was 100% pure from what Jesus said, the end result would be totally different than the world that we have today based on belief. But because we believe in what the church believes, which is a man-made construct, it's different. So the results are different, if you can follow that. So the other thing is, esoterically, okay, Maitreya was in the Himalayas at the time that Jesus was in Palestine. Now, Maitreya worked through Jesus telepathically, giving the messages and giving the teachings out to the world indirectly through Jesus. And that was the way that the teacher normally did things, was through an intermediary like Jesus, the very advanced person, especially at the time, but somebody that was pure in his own right, but yet still a person, because the masters were hidden away, not teaching humanity directly at that time. Now, after Jesus became a master himself, he stayed here on the planet. He's been working ever since on the planet, but he had to work the same way that Maitreya worked through him, which was indirectly through an intermediary. He worked through Baha'u'llah, for one. He worked through the Prophet Muhammad, was another one. And so, esoterically, the ideas and the original wisdoms and truths of the Quran are coming from Jesus. So you get an idea of what Jesus was talking about too, if you read the Quran. Now, is it 100% pure, like, and the Bible isn't? No, I'm not saying that at all. There were people out throughout history that pulled out and put in what they wanted and didn't want and so forth, just like they did in the Bible. But there are truths in the Quran, just like there are truths in the Bible, and one that I think is just amazing, right? And if you listen to this as it's coming from Jesus as a possibility, just a possibility, right? Listen to this. It says, and this is from the Quran 2:6:2. Surely those who believe, and those who are Jews, and the Christians, and the Sabians, whoever believes in God and the last day and does good, they have their reward with their Lord, and there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. That is saying, esoterically, if that was Jesus that said that, Jesus is saying you don't have to believe in any kind of belief construct or that he is the only true Son of God. You just have to do what? You have to do good. And fast forward to today, right? Well, now the masters are not going to need an intermediary to talk to humanity. They're coming out directly. Maitreya already being on TV, speaking directly to the people. But when we see these people, these masters, right? And there's just a few of them. But when we see these masters and start to and talk with them and interrelate with them and so forth, if you're somebody of beliefs, you are going to be shocked at how they don't come to spread any new religion or dogma or anything like this. They don't care whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or somebody who have no belief or a Hindu or whatever, or they only want you to do what Jesus said through Muhammad, which was to do good. And so you'll be surprised. You'll think that Maitreya is here spreading a new religion and trying to convert everybody from Christianity over to his religion. It's not going to happen, And you'll be surprised at how he's not here to confirm or deny anybody's beliefs. He's only here to help the world, help us save ourselves. And yet, how lovingly simple his words will be, just as they were through Jesus back in the day. So, anyway, I hope this helps.
Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.